don't stay in Sri Lanka because the time of Sri Lanka is now over. Everyone's looking to go abroad to learn new things. So I have two of the best people in the industry here to talk with me, Mr. Paramdeep Singh and Mr. Mal Pereira. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Paramdeep is a veteran in New Zealand education. So, Mr. Paramdeep, when did you exactly visit to New Zealand for the first time in your life?
So I shifted to New Zealand in November '96, but I shifted from India under general skill category. I got the residency. I went there and then actually I studied also there. So I know the first-hand experience of doing masters in one of the leading New Zealand institutes. So since then, I am living there, but I entered into education in 2002. So I've been promoting study in New Zealand since 2002, so almost 22 years.
Mr. Pereira, can you give us a briefing about OES Lanka, what OES Lanka is, and the background for everyone who's watching at their home right now?
Yeah, OES Lanka, Overseas Education Service, established in year 2000, and we have been sending students initially to Switzerland, but later on in around 2009, we started working with New Zealand. I would say, I'm happy to say that we are the pioneers in Sri Lanka to send students to New Zealand, right? Okay, so we have been sending students to New Zealand, and we have so many promotions in Colombo that we got down some education partners to Colombo, and we promoted New Zealand education New Zealand, right? So right up to this stage, we have recruited more than 3,000 students altogether, right? So, including New Zealand and other countries as well. But 90% of the students have gone to New Zealand. The OES main market is New Zealand.
Okay. So, Mr. Paramdeep is Indian and you are Sri Lankan. How this partnership really began?
So I think I met Mr. Merle in 2010 in one of the fair organized by Education New Zealand, and since then we sort of joined hands. So he has become our authorized education consultant in Sri Lanka, and for last 14 years we've been working together and supporting each other. Whenever I come, we do the seminars. We try to educate students also about the life in New Zealand, about the career opportunities in New Zealand, and I think Mr. Merle will be able to tell. Even her daughter is also there in New Zealand.
Yeah, actually I met Paramdeep in 2010 at an education fair held in Taj Samudra, and since then the Param has been associated with me and he has helping me immensely mainly to New Zealand education, and he promoting New Zealand education. Whenever he comes to Sri Lanka, he contacts us. He try to update all the immigration, the education industry news with us for as Sri Lankan. So he's so helpful for us to get on with the.
But mainly for students.
Yeah, mainly for students.
We are all both are here for helping the students.
Students.
So I myself am considering to go abroad to learn further. In that case, Mr. Param, can you explain more about how's the students' life in New Zealand?
So life is very good. So right now the current immigration policies are also favorable. Say for example, if you have done A level, then you can come and study 3 years degree. You get 3-year post-study work visa. If you have done a degree, then depending on your background, you can do masters. So immigration says the program has to be relevant to your background and it has to be progression. And in master is normally in some institute it is 1-year masters or 18-month master. You get 3-year post-study work visa. And as per current immigration policy, if you are married, spouse get full-time work right in masters. If you have kids, 5-year and above, primary and secondary education is free. 3 to 5, 20 hours per week, kindergarten is free. So there are so many favorable policies. And as you know, New Zealand is the least corrupt country. It's the most peaceful country. There is no racism. Unemployment is only 4% in the country. So there are a lot of opportunities. So this is the best time actually to look at study in New Zealand options, especially through OES.
So what would be the procedure be like if I want to go abroad, and what is the first thing that I need to do when I come to OES Lanka?
Yeah, we always ask students to send the CV, detailed CV. Then I go through personally the CV. Then I have personal interview session with the student, right? If I think that he is suitable and he is eligible to apply, right? His background is okay, fund availability, education, all those things. The, go along with the education rules and regulations. We'll ask him to start with the process with my staff. I'll pass on to the details to the staff. Then they will contact the student, right? Then they start processing the initial process with the student and go up to the visa letter.
So most of the times we see like students who have done their O-level examination, that means around 16 years, are willing to go abroad to learn. In that case, like most of the parents, especially mothers, are very reluctant to send their kids alone to overseas. So is there any other way, like the family to move into that country, or like a guardian to go there?
Yeah, it's like this. Now we work with schools, secondary schools and high schools also in New Zealand. There are so many students have gone. They want to start up with the schools, right? And mother can accompany as a guardian, right? Because when the child is below 18 years, mother can go as a guardian, and the student can start. The child can start from the school up to the university level, right? So there are so many students have gone like that. Parents actually they are really looking for studies starting up from school age, right, and go up to the university level. So there are so many students have gone. Most of the Sri Lankans who are living overseas, like Dubai, Kuwait, and Qatar, those are the main states. These Sri Lankans, they contact us to OES, and they want to send their children overseas. To study in New Zealand, start up with the school studies, and mother accompany them as well.
Mr. Param, in Sri Lanka, like currently, when we are applying to go abroad, usually we see like the new trend that most Sri Lankans want to go abroad. In that case, we see like our visas get rejected from these countries all the time. What do you think about Sri Lankan visa acceptance rate in New Zealand?
So right now, actually, Sri Lanka visa acceptance rate is very, very high. It's almost 85%, much higher. Actually, I've been to just India, and Indians are complaining because India visa success rate is only 58%, and Sri Lanka visa success rate is 85%. So what basically in New Zealand is very fair and simple process. So first you find a relevant program which is matching your background, get admission, and then only thing they're mainly worried about is the funds. As long as you have genuine funds which can sustain you while you are in New Zealand and studying, immigration gives you the visa. And here also you don't have to convince the visa officer that you will come back. So New Zealand is very open that way. They know like if you're coming, you want to settle there, more than welcome to settle in New Zealand. And policy, as I mentioned, is such: 18 months master, you get 3-year post-study work visa, and then it comes under general skill category. So you can see on immigration website also, they've very clearly explained how you can apply for PR also in New Zealand.
What are the institutions that you are currently working with in New Zealand?
So mainly I am promoting through government institute. One is Toyoma Institute of Technology, which has campuses in Rotorua and Tauranga. Another one is WITT, which has campuses in New Plymouth. And then I have recently started promoting Academy EX because it's a category 1 private institute in Auckland, and they have very good 2 masters research oriented. Master of Technology Future, Master of Change Management and Business Resilience. And third one is IPU in Palmerston. They also have 2 years of research oriented. Master of Critical International Studies. So in research oriented masters, actually students can work full time while studying. So these gives them a very good career options also.
So what was your experience like working with OES Sri Lanka?
Excellent experience. The one thing I can say, Mr. Merle has been very honest. So they give a very sincere advice to the students. And so far in last 14 years, we have always got applications done very properly, SOPs done very properly, and the visa success rate is very high. We never had any fraudulent documents from them, and they have guided the students really, really well. Whenever students normally come to our campus, we talk to them, and they always speak very highly about Mr. Merle and his company, OES.
Mr. Merle, what is your primary advice to someone who's looking to go abroad to learn? What is your primary advice?
Yeah, it's like this now. As I told you, whenever students come to our office, we all look at his background. He or she has to be a genuine doctor, right? Because the immigration is looking at only the genuine student, genuine documents, and not fraudulent documents. So we entertain like that. We don't want. It's not the number, it's the quality. We maintain the quality of the students. So as he said, we always advise them to bring the the genuine document, then visa rate is always high. You know, the visa rate is always high. So if they want to go for studies, my advice is New Zealand is the best place to get start their studies. I mean, after degree or after schooling, or even if they are going to school, right? They can start up in school as I told you initially. They can start with studying New Zealand. Then, as he said, if they go for master, then they are the current rule. They allow them to stay for 3 years post and work visa, and for research masters, they allow them to work full time. So that is the main reason I always advise them to go to New Zealand, and the cost is also lesser than the other countries. That's the main thing. So we do a comparison in my office. As I told you initially also, we work in Canada, UK, Australia, right? When you compare the education cost, that means tuition fee plus the living cost, New Zealand is always the cheapest, affordable for Sri Lanka students. That is the main reason we advise them to go to New Zealand.
Mr. Paramat, by the way, what is it like to work in New Zealand, like as a student, part-time working, or what are the schedules like? What are the limitations that I'm having when it comes to working as a student?
So if you go a standard taught program, you can work 20 hours per week on part-time basis. In term break, semester break, summer break, you can work full-time. And from today, from 1st of April, the minimum salary has gone up to $23.50 per hour. Whatever work you do, you get $23.50 per hour. And there is no discrimination in New Zealand. Whatever employers say, you get that. But if you are going for research-oriented masters, you have the option to work full-time also. And in full-time, there is no limit. You can work as long as you are able to focus on your studies. You can work full-time in any area. Initially, a lot of students get odd jobs because in supermarkets, in McDonald's, Burger King, restaurants, cleaning jobs, in the farms also. But slowly and slowly, they move into their own field of expertise also. So this is what we advise to students. Whatever you get in the beginning, just get into that, build your connections, build the references, and then you will have some money sort of coming into your account also. And slowly, a lot of institutes, government institutes actually help students a lot in finding good career opportunities.
New Zealand is a very beautiful country, as you have seen in so many social media posts and everything. So you have been there so long. What was your favorite destination to go in New Zealand?
I love Rotorua. Rotorua is the best place. It has 18 lakes and a lot of thermal geysers also. There is a redwood tree walk where I normally go with my wife every morning. And tranquility, peace, everything is beautiful. Some of the photographs I have taken, they look like postcard photographs. But on the whole, overall New Zealand is very good. I like Milford Sound also a lot. Auckland is also very good. Northland is also quite good. So whole New Zealand is actually beautiful. It's very hard to compare which is best, which is not best.
So you have been in Sri Lanka. Compared to New Zealand, do you think Sri Lanka is a beautiful country? And like, what is your favorite place to visit in Sri Lanka?
Yesterday I went to Kandy. That was amazing. So Kandy is very green and serene. And overall I love Sri Lanka. People are very nice, very honest, and food is really great. So good country.
Thank you for your time, gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I said earlier, don't stay in Sri Lanka. This opportunity is yours. It's time to go to New Zealand to start your education life properly. Go to OES Lanka, and it's time to go to New Zealand. Until we meet again, goodbye.